Not for glory, not for Asgard. Give me the strength to end this, so I can keep my promise and come home to her.
The name Avengers Doomsday has been circulating across fan spaces as a possible future chapter in the Marvel Universe. And what makes it so intriguing is how it feels like a culmination title, suggesting consequences, collapse, and a turning point for the heroes we've followed for years. Even without official confirmation, the idea of a Doomsday-style Avengers story instantly brings expectations of massive stakes, moral conflicts, and a storyline where victory doesn't come without real loss. The tone people associate with this project is darker and more serious, focusing less on jokes and more on the cost of being a hero in a universe that's been fractured by multiverse events, time travel, and repeated cosmic threats. From what has been discussed and speculated, Avengers Doomsday is believed to be positioned as a response to everything that happened after Endgame, where the world kept moving but never truly healed. The heroes are scattered, some retired, some gone, and some struggling with new responsibilities. This movie is often imagined as the moment where all those loose threads collide at once. Instead of a single villain causing chaos, the danger feels more like a chain reaction of past decisions coming back altogether, creating a scenario where the Avengers are forced to reunite not because they want to, but because they have no other choice. When it comes to the team itself, conversations around Avengers Doomsday usually point toward a mix of familiar faces and newer heroes. The legacy characters are expected to return in meaningful ways, not just for fan service, but to pass the torch or face unresolved consequences from earlier films. At the same time, the newer generation of heroes is seen as essential to the story, stepping into leadership roles that feel earned rather than handed to them. This balance between old and new is a major reason fans are excited, because it suggests a true evolution of the Avengers rather than a simple repeat of past formulas. The emotional core of Avengers Doomsday is often imagined as being driven by internal conflict just as much as external danger. Trust within the team is fragile, especially after events that fractured reality itself. Some heroes may question whether the Avengers should even exist anymore, while others believe that disbanding is exactly what allowed things to spiral out of control. This tension adds weight to every decision, making battles feel personal rather than just visually impressive. The idea is that every fight matters because the consequences could permanently reshape the world they're trying to protect. In terms of story direction, Avengers Doomsday is usually described as a narrative that doesn't rush. Instead of jumping straight into non-stop action, it's thought of as a slow build where the threat reveals itself piece by piece. Strange events, unexplained disasters, and moral dilemmas start piling up, all pointing toward a larger collapse. By the time the Avengers fully understand what's happening, it's already too late to prevent the initial damage, and the rest of the movie becomes about damage control, sacrifice, and impossible choices rather than a clean victory. One of the most talked about elements is how the movie might explore the idea of inevitability. The word doomsday suggests something that can't be completely avoided, only faced. This creates a powerful theme where heroes must decide what they are willing to lose to save what remains. Unlike earlier Avengers movies where teamwork almost guaranteed success, this story is imagined as one where teamwork only ensures survival, not triumph. That shift alone makes the concept stand out as something bolder and more emotionally challenging. The scale of Avengers Doomsday is expected to be massive, but not just in terms of action. The impact is often described as global and even cosmic, affecting everyday people as much as gods and super soldiers. Cities changing, governments panicking, and civilians losing faith in heroes are all ideas that frequently come up in discussions. This grounds the story, reminding viewers that the Avengers aren't fighting abstract threats, but events that deeply affect normal lives across the planet. As for the release window, the project is usually imagined as being placed at a critical point in the overall saga, acting as either the end of a phase or the bridge into something even bigger. This timing is important because it determines how much build-up the movie gets and how much responsibility it carries. Fans often believe it would arrive after several individual character stories, allowing those arcs to feed directly into the larger conflict of Doomsday. That way, the movie feels earned rather than rushed. Trailer expectations for Avengers Doomsday are also a big part of the hype. People imagine a teaser that focuses more on mood than plot, showing quiet destruction, broken symbols, and heroes looking unsure rather than confident. Instead of revealing the main threat, such a trailer would likely emphasize the emotional weight, using dialogue and visuals that suggest loss, fear, and urgency. This kind of marketing would signal that the movie is different from previous Avengers entries, setting expectations for a heavier and more serious experience visually. Avengers Doomsday is often imagined as having a more grounded color palette mixed with moments of overwhelming scale. Instead of constant bright spectacle, the visuals would reflect a world under pressure, with darker tones and damaged environments. When large action scenes do happen, they're expected to feel chaotic and desperate rather than clean and heroic. This visual storytelling would reinforce the idea that the Avengers are fighting uphill against something far bigger than themselves. Another major talking point is how the movie could redefine what winning means in the Marvel Universe. Rather than ending with celebration, Avengers Doomsday is often envisioned as concluding with reflection, rebuilding, or even mourning. The heroes might succeed in preventing total annihilation, but at a cost that permanently changes the team and the world. This kind of ending would leave a strong emotional impact and set the stage for future stories that deal with the aftermath rather than ignoring it. What makes Avengers Doomsday so compelling, even as an idea, is that it represents growth for the franchise. It suggests a willingness to challenge the audience, to move beyond simple good versus evil storytelling and explore consequences that can't be undone. The title alone implies that some lines, once crossed, can't be erased, and that heroism sometimes means accepting failure and still choosing to stand up again. In the larger context of the Marvel Universe, Avengers Doomsday is often seen as a test of whether the Avengers concept can evolve with its audience. Many viewers who grew up with the early films are now ready for stories that reflect more complex emotions and moral ambiguity. This movie, as it's imagined, fits perfectly into that desire, offering spectacle without losing substance and action without ignoring character depth, even without official details. The excitement around Avengers Doomsday shows how powerful a well-chosen title and concept can be. It sparks imagination, debate, and anticipation, all based on the promise of a story that dares to be heavier and more meaningful. Whether it becomes exactly what fans imagine or something completely unexpected, the idea of Avengers Doomsday represents a moment where everything the heroes have done finally catches up with them, forcing them to face not just an enemy, but the consequences of their own legacy.